The hallway smells like antiseptic and cold air. My fingers pinch my phone so hard the edges bite into my skin. Dr. Salmon steps out behind me and shuts the exam room door, fast, firm, like something is trying to get in. His voice drops. Listen to me. Go home, pack a bag, and don't let your husband know. File for divorce tonight. My ears buzz. A laugh slips out, wrong and thin. Are you serious? He pushes a warm printout into my hand. His hand is shaking. This isn't about the baby, he breathes. It's about him. My screen lights up. Rafi's name, sweet ringtone, perfect timing. Dr. Salmon's mouth tightens. Don't answer. Rafi's name glows on my screen like a hand around my throat. My thumb hovers. The ringtone is soft, familiar, the kind of sound that used to mean home. My stomach tightens anyway. I'm not dramatic. I'm the woman who counts breaths when the world gets loud, who smiles through rude aunties and awkward questions, who keeps my voice even when my heart is sprinting. But today my body won't obey. My skin feels too thin. Every nerve is lit up, humming. First pregnancy. After years of trying that turned my calendar into a battlefield, little red circles, appointments, prayers said under my breath in bathrooms. I should be floating. I should be clutching ultrasound pictures like a miracle. Instead, I'm in a clinic hallway with a doctor who looks like he's seen a ghost. I swallow. My throat is dry, like I've been chewing paper. The printout in my hand is warm from the machine, edges curling, and I can't even look at it without my vision blurring. Dr. Salmon's eyes are gentle, but there's something hard underneath, like he's forcing himself to stay calm for me. Routine, Rafi had said this morning, kissing my forehead. I'll drop you off. You don't need stress. I'll handle everything. He always handles everything now. The tracking app. For safety. The surprise check-ins. Because I worry. The way my card started declining more often, and he laughed like it was cute. Baby budget. I told myself it was love. I told myself I was lucky. A nurse passes us. Layla, her badge swinging, and her eyes flick to my face, then to my phone, then away. Fast, but not fast enough. She knows something, or she suspects. Her mouth presses into a line like she's holding back words. My mother-in-law, Farzana, flashes into my mind. That sweet smile, those sharp eyes that miss nothing, the way she touches my belly like she's checking ownership. My phone buzzes again, still ringing, still patient. I finally lift my gaze, meet Dr. Salmon's, and something in me goes quiet and cold. If you've ever trusted someone who smiled while hiding a knife, stay with me, because what I learned changed everything. Rafi used to arrive like a solution. The first time I saw him, it was raining so hard the street looked bruised. I was standing under the edge of a broken awning outside the pharmacy, holding a paper bag of vitamins like it was something fragile, like it could fall apart in my hands. My phone was dead. A bus splashed dirty water across my shoes. I remember the sting of it. Cold seeped through the fabric, through my socks, straight into my bones. And then there he was. Umbrella, clean shirt, smile that made other people turn their heads, not because it was loud, but because it felt safe. Like a light in a place that had been dim for too long. Hey, he said, like we already knew each other. You're going to catch a fever standing there. I laughed, small, embarrassed, because who says that to a stranger? But he held the umbrella over me anyway, tilting it so the rain rolled off behind my back instead of onto my shoulders. He didn't touch me. He didn't crowd me. He just covered me. Rescuer. That's the word my mind used even then. He offered to call me a ride. I told him I was fine. He insisted, not rude, just steady. When the car came, he opened the door like the world had rules and he knew them all. I remember the warmth of the seat against my wet skirt, the way his voice followed me. Text me when you get home, just so I know you're okay. He gave me his number before I could ask, already typed into my phone, already saved. Rafi. That night, I stared at the name on my screen longer than I should have. My thumb hovered. My heart beat like it was trying to convince me. When I finally texted, he replied immediately. Of course he did. He learned me fast. My tea order, my favorite sweets, the exact time I left work, the days I got migraines. He remembered things I hadn't realized I'd said out loud. It felt like devotion. It felt like being seen. And after years of feeling invisible, at family gatherings where aunties asked when I'd settle down, at weddings where cousins whispered about my age like it was an expiration date, being seen felt like oxygen. We moved fast. Too fast. Everyone says that after, like it's wisdom you can only earn by getting burned. He proposed with shaking hands and soft eyes. like he couldn't believe I was real. "I don't want to waste time," he said. "I want a life with you." My chest tightened then, not from fear, but from the idea of being chosen so completely. We married within months. The wedding hall smelled of perfume and warm fabric, the kind that sticks to skin. Gold lights, loud music. Farzana kissed my forehead in front of everyone, her bangles chiming. "Welcome, daughter," she said, and her smile was sugar. But her eyes assessed. I didn't understand that until later. The shift didn't happen in one moment. It happened in 1,000 tiny ones, like water wearing down stone. At first it was cute. "Don't take that route home," Rafi said one evening, like he was giving weather advice. "There's too much traffic." Then, "Don't wear that to work, people stare." Then, "Why didn't you answer on the first ring?" He would say it with a laugh, like it was a joke we shared. But the joke always landed on my ribs, heavy. The first time he checked my phone without asking, I told myself it was normal for married people. The second time, I felt my mouth go dry. I watched him scroll, eyes calm, like he was flipping through his own belongings. He didn't even look guilty when I said quietly, "What are you doing?" He looked up and smiled, like I was the one being silly. "Relax," he said. "I just want to make sure no one bothers you." Bothers you. I tried to swallow my discomfort, but it sat in my throat, a lump that wouldn't move. Then came the cameras. "I installed them," he said, breezy, like he'd bought new curtains. "For safety." Our apartment was small, but neat, the kind of place that should have felt cozy. White walls, pale tiles, a balcony that looked out onto other balconies, all of us stacked like boxes, like lives living too close together. After the cameras, the apartment felt watched. There was one near the living room, one pointed toward the front door, one in the hallway. At night, when the lights were off, the little red dot was a heartbeat that wasn't mine. Rafi's cologne lingered everywhere. It used to make me lean in, warm, spicy, expensive. Now it felt like a warning on the air, like a sign that said he'd been here even when he wasn't. When he left for work, the apartment became too quiet. Not peaceful quiet. Held breath quiet. I started listening for sounds without meaning to. The fridge hum, the faint buzz of the building, my own footsteps. I would catch myself moving softly like I was trying not to wake something. Then we started trying for a baby. I thought that would soften things. I thought it would make us a team again, both of us leaning towards something tender. Instead, it turned my body into a project. I tracked cycles. I swallowed vitamins that smelled like metal. I peed on sticks and waited, heart pounding, staring at a white window like it could answer all of my prayers. Month after month, nothing. At family dinners, Farzana would touch my hand, her nails perfect, her voice sweet. "Don't worry," she'd say, loud enough for others to hear. "Allah will bless you." And then, softer, meant only for me. "But you must try harder. Try harder." As if desire could force biology. Rumors started, they always do. Little comments that slither under your skin and stay there. "A woman should give a man children," an auntie said, not even looking at me when she said it. Like I was furniture. Someone else laughed. "Maybe she's too stressed." Farzana's eyes would flick to my waist, my stomach, my face. Measured, judged, filed away. Rafi's hand would squeeze my knee under the table. Not gentle. A reminder. A pressure point. At home, he would hold me at night and say, "We'll have a baby. Don't listen to them." But the next morning he'd ask, "Did you take the supplements?" Like it was an order. He started managing money for the future. My salary went into a joint account. He handled bills. He bought baby items just in case. Boxes stacking in the spare room, like proof of his optimism. If I bought something small, snacks, a scarf, he'd raise an eyebrow. "Do you need that?" he'd ask, smiling. I would laugh back, pretend it didn't sting. Then one day, after another month of nothing, I sat on the bathroom floor and cried until my face felt swollen. My knees ached, the tiles were cold, my breath came in little shudders I couldn't control. Rafi knocked once, then opened the door like privacy was optional. He crouched beside me, stroked my hair. "Hey," he murmured. "Hey, don't do this to yourself." His voice was soft. I wanted to melt into it. I wanted to believe softness meant safety. "I'm trying," I whispered. My throat burned. "I'm trying so hard." He kissed my temple. I know. Let me take care of you. Take care of you." It sounded like comfort. It became a cage. When I finally got pregnant, it happened quietly. No grand moment, No movie scene, just a cheap test in my hand at 6 a.m, the bathroom light too bright, my heart beating so hard it shook my fingers. 2 lines. My breath stopped. For a second, the world went silent. No fridge hum, no distant traffic, no buzzing lights. Just me and those lines. And everything rushed back in at once. Heat rose behind my eyes. I pressed my palm to my mouth so my sob wouldn't wake Rafi. I wasn't ready to share it yet. I wanted one moment that belonged to me. But Rafi woke anyway. He appeared in the doorway in his sleep shirt, hair messy, eyes sharp despite the morning. "What's wrong?" he asked. I couldn't hide the test in time. He saw it. His face changed. Shock first, then something that looked like relief, then something else. Something like victory. He took the test from my hand like he had the right. He stared at it, then looked up at me, smiling wide. "You did it," he said. I blinked. "We did it." He laughed, pulled me into his arms. His hug was tight, almost too tight. My ribs protested. Farzana cried when we told her. She held my face between her hands and said, "Finally," like I had been a delayed delivery. Everyone acted relieved, too relieved, like something had been waiting, something that could finally move forward. Rafi became attentive, not in the sweet way he used to be, in the watchful way. He insisted on coming to every appointment. When the clinic said only one person could enter, he frowned like the rule was personal. "Why can't I come in?" he asked, voice pleasant but eyes hard. "I'm the father." "It's policy," the receptionist said, polite, tired. Rafi smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Okay," he said. "Okay." Outside, he held my hand so firmly my fingers tingled. "Call me the moment you're done," he said. I nodded, because it was easier. The morning of the ultrasound, he drove me like I was fragile cargo. His hand rested on my knee at every red light, thumb rubbing the same spot over and over. It should have felt affectionate. It felt like ownership. "You'll be fine," he said, smiling. "Routine." His cologne filled the car. My stomach fluttered, not with excitement, with nerves that didn't make sense. At the clinic entrance, he kissed my forehead again. "I'll wait nearby," he said. "Text me when they call you in." He couldn't come inside. I watched him walk away, tall, confident, the kind of man who looks like he belongs everywhere. For a moment, I felt stupid for the tightness in my chest. Then Nurse Layla called my name. The ultrasound room was dim, lit by the soft glow of the screen. The air was cool, the paper on the bed crackled under me. I lay back and stared at the ceiling tiles. One had a tiny stain shaped like a comma. Layla's hands were efficient. She lifted my shirt, tucked a cloth under my waistband. "This might feel cold," she said. The gel hit my skin, and I flinched. It was shockingly cold, like a wet coin. My muscles tightened without permission. "Sorry," she murmured. And then the wand moved across my stomach with gentle pressure, slow circles that made my skin prickle. The monitor flickered. Grainy shapes, shadows, and then, there, a tiny heartbeat. It wasn't a sound exactly, more like a fast, steady pulse on the screen, a flutter that made my own heart stumble. Relief flooded me so quickly my eyes stung. My shoulders dropped, my mouth opened on a shaky laugh. "Oh," I breathed. "Oh my God." I couldn't stop staring. That flicker felt like proof that all those months of waiting hadn't been for nothing. Proof that my body wasn't broken. Proof that I wasn't failing. Dr. Salmon entered then, quiet as a thought. He was warm-faced, calm. He greeted me gently, asked how I felt, asked if I'd eaten. His voice was the kind you trust. He took over, eyes on the screen, hands steady on the transducer. He narrated softly, measurements, development, normal markers, like he was reading me a bedtime story I'd been dying to hear. Then his voice trailed off. The silence was sudden. I turned my head slightly, trying to see his face in the dim light. His brows had drawn together. His mouth had flattened into a line. The wand paused. My pulse jumped. A sour taste rose in my mouth. "Doctor?" I whispered. He blinked, like he'd forgotten he wasn't alone. "Just one moment." He adjusted the angle, pressed a little harder. The pressure wasn't painful, but it made my skin feel tender, like my body was turning into something public, something examined. He stared. Too long. My hands clenched the edges of the bed. The paper crinkled loudly in the quiet. "Is everything okay?" My voice came out higher than I meant it to. Dr. Salmon didn't answer right away. He took a slow breath, like he was picking his words carefully. "Any recent falls?" he asked. The question landed wrong. My mouth went dry. No, I said quickly. No, I haven't fallen. Any new medications? His tone stayed calm, but his eyes didn't leave the screen. No, I said again, but my mind raced. Vitamins, the supplements Rafi insisted on, the tea Farzana brewed, bitter and dark. Just prenatal vitamins. Dr. Salmon nodded once, then still staring, he asked, "Does anyone else have access to your medical portal?" My stomach tightened so sharply I sucked in a breath. My portal? I repeated, confused. No, I don't think so. He finally looked at me. His eyes were kind, but there was something in them, an edge of urgency, like he was holding back a larger truth. Who manages your appointments? He asked. I do, I said automatically. And then, because the words felt flimsy, I added, sometimes my husband helps. He's just supportive. Dr. Salmon's gaze held mine for a second. Something passed between us, something unspoken. Nurse Layla stood very still beside the machine, her lips pressed together. My skin broke out in goosebumps despite the warm gel. Dr. Salmon cleared his throat. His voice returned to professional calm. Let me print some images, he said. It'll just take a minute. He stepped out. The door clicked softly behind him. The room felt emptier without his steady voice. The monitor still glowed, still showed that tiny flicker, but my relief had curdled into unease. Nurse Layla wiped gel from my stomach with a tissue. The paper towel rasped my skin. I shivered. Everything's okay, right? I asked her, trying to sound casual, trying to drag this back into normal. Her eyes flicked to the door, then back to me. She forced a small smile that didn't look like hers. Just breathe, she said. Just breathe. That's what people say when something is wrong. My phone vibrated in my bag. I didn't reach for it. My hands felt numb. Outside the door, voices, muffled, low. I couldn't make out words at first, just the rhythm of urgent conversation, like waves breaking. Then one name cut through the blur, clean as a knife. Rafi! My stomach dropped. My heart slammed once, hard, like it was trying to escape. I held my breath, straining to listen, my ears burning. Another voice, Dr. Salmon's, quiet, controlled, and then the murmur again, and my husband's name repeated, like a warning being passed from mouth to mouth. My fingers curled into a fist on the bed. The room felt colder. The little heartbeat on the screen kept flickering, steady, innocent. And suddenly I was terrified, not of the pregnancy, not of the clinic, not of the unknown measurement, but of the man who had dropped me off, smiling like nothing in the world could touch me. The door opens and the air changes. Dr. Salmon slips back inside like he's trying not to be seen, one hand already reaching behind him. The latch clicks. Then a second click, his thumb turning the little lock. The sound is tiny. It lands in my chest like a coin dropped into a deep well. Nurse Layla doesn't look surprised. That's what scares me most. Her eyes meet his for half a heartbeat, and something silent passes between them. Permission? Warning? I don't know. I only know my palms go damp and my mouth tastes like metal. Dr. Salmon walks closer, but not too close. Like he's approaching an animal that might bolt. He holds a thin folder and the ultrasound printouts, and his fingers aren't steady anymore. He tries to hide it. He fails. Okay, he says quietly. His voice is gentle in the way people get when they're about to break your life in half. Listen to me. You need to go home, pack a bag, and don't let your husband know. My throat tightens. I can't swallow. He draws in a breath, like it hurts to say the next part. File for divorce tonight. It's so unreal my brain refuses it. My face does something. Maybe I smile, maybe I grimace, because a sound comes out of me that isn't a real laugh. It's thin. It's wrong. Are you? My voice cracks. Are you serious? His eyes don't flinch. Yes. The gel on my stomach is drying now, sticky against my skin. I can feel it pulling every time I breathe. My body is suddenly too aware of itself. My heartbeat in my ears, my tongue thick, the blood rushing in my fingertips. I grip the edge of the bed, the paper crinkling like it's trying to scream for me. Why? I whisper. What did you see? He doesn't answer right away. He glances at Nurse Layla like he's checking the room for leaks. She steps closer to the door, her hand hovering near the lock like a guard. Dr. Salmon lowers his voice even more. I can't explain everything in here, he says, but I can tell you enough to keep you safe. Safe. That word doesn't belong in a clinic, not in a routine appointment. Not in my life with Rafi, where the worst thing used to be his constant calling, his constant checking, his constant love. My phone buzzes again from inside my bag. The sound is muffled but sharp. It makes my stomach lurch. Dr. Salmon's gaze flicks there, then back to me. Before we talk about the scan, he says, I need to ask you something. Have you noticed anything strange with your appointments? Messages you didn't send? Notes you didn't write? I stare at him like he's speaking another language. No, I say, automatically. Then I hesitate, because something prickles at the back of my mind. An email I never opened, a reminder that disappeared, a time I showed up and they told me I'd rescheduled. I remember Rafi's casual voice that day. Don't worry, I handled it, just a small mix-up. My skin turns cold. Dr. Salmon opens the folder and slides out a printed page filled with columns and numbers. Dates, times, device IDs. It looks like something from a bank, or a court, or a nightmare. We monitor access to patient portals, he says, for security. The room seems to tilt slightly. The corners go soft. Someone has been logging into yours, he continues. Not just viewing, editing. Editing. My stomach drops hard, like the floor disappears under me. He taps the paper with his shaking finger. Appointment notes were altered, insurance details were changed, contact preferences were updated. I blink. Once. Twice. Like blinking could clear the words. That can't be, I manage. I would know. Dr. Salmon's eyes hold mine. They're steady, even if his hands aren't. That's the problem, he says. You didn't know. And whoever did it in a way designed so you wouldn't notice. Designed. A heat crawls up my spine. My mouth fills with saliva, like my body is preparing to throw up. Nurse Layla's hand comes to my shoulder for a second. Her palm is warm through my thin clinic gown. It should comfort me. It doesn't, because now warmth feels like the last moment before a burn. Dr. Salmon flips the page to a highlighted line. The logins are tied to a device registered under a name you recognize, he says carefully. My vision narrows to that single line. Black ink, yellow highlight. I don't even need to read it fully to know. My brain supplies the name like a reflex. Rafi. My husband's name doesn't feel like a word anymore. It feels like a blade pressed against the underside of my jaw. No, I whisper. The word is so small it barely exists. Dr. Salmon doesn't move. He doesn't push. He just lets the truth sit between us, heavy and undeniable. I swallow and it hurts. My throat is raw, like I've been screaming without sound. Rafi had my passwords. He helped me set up the portal because I hate tech stuff, he'd said, laughing like it was adorable. He'd taken my phone, typed quickly, told me not to worry about remembering everything. I'll remember, he'd said. You just focus on the baby. My fingers go numb. I flex them, watching the skin whiten and flush again. My body is there, but it doesn't feel like mine. Betrayal isn't a thought. It's a temperature drop. It's the sudden understanding that the room you've been living in has no doors, only walls you didn't notice until now. My phone buzzes again. Rafi again. I fumble my bag open with clumsy hands. The zipper catches. My nails scrape the fabric. My breath comes shallow, quick. My screen lights up. His name, his picture, his smiling face at some wedding, his arm around my shoulder like a claim. Answer! His message pops up beneath the call. Where are you? I'm coming. My chest tightens so hard it feels like something is squeezing my lungs. Dr. Salmon leans forward slightly. Do not tell him what we're discussing, he says. The words are calm, but his eyes are not. Do you understand me? My tongue sticks to the roof of my mouth. I nod once. I press accept. My hand shakes so badly I almost drop the phone. Hello? Rafi's voice pours into my ear like honey. Smooth, warm, practiced. Babe, you done? Babe! I taste bile. It rises so quickly I have to clamp my lips together for a second and breathe through my nose. Not yet, I say, forcing my voice into something light. My throat tries to betray me with a tremor. I swallow it down. They're checking vitamins and paperwork. I'm with the nurse. Why is it taking so long? His tone shifts just slightly, still sweet, but with a hook underneath. I picture his smile. The perfect one. The one that never shows teeth unless he wants something. It's fine, I say, just routine. Put the nurse on, he says immediately. My heart slams. Nurse Layla's eyes flick to my face. She hears his voice through the speaker, tinny. Her expression doesn't change, but her jaw tightens. Her hands are full, I lie, and the lie burns on the way out. She's arranging the supplements they want me to take. A pause, silence on the line. In that silence, my skin prickles. My scalp tingles like danger is near. Then Rafi laughs softly. Okay, he says. Okay, baby, I'll come pick you up. I'm outside. My stomach drops again. Outside, he was never waiting nearby. He was here. The clinic suddenly feels too open. Too many hallways, too many doors, too many places he could be standing, smiling, watching. No, I say too fast. I try to soften it. No, don't. Traffic is bad. I'll take a ride. You're pregnant, he says, like it's a weapon and a kiss at the same time. I'm your husband. I'm coming. My fingers cramp around the phone. The printout in my other hand is damp at the edges from my sweat. Dr. Salmon makes a small motion, his palm down, steady. Stay calm. Keep him calm. I force air into my lungs. I force my voice into something sweet. Please, I say, and it comes out like a plea, because it is. I want to stop at my mom's after. I'll go straight there from here. It'll be easier. Another pause. My heart stutters. Rafi finally says, Your mother? His voice is still gentle, but there's a new sharpness, like he's tasting something he doesn't like. Why? Because she worries, I say, and I hate that my voice wobbles on the word worries. And I want her to see the picture, just for a minute. A beat, then, send me the ultrasound photo, he says. My stomach twists hard. I glance at the printout in my hand, like it's suddenly radioactive. I will, I say quickly, when I get a good one. You always stall, he says, still laughing, still light. Okay, fine, call me the second you step outside. He hangs up. The line goes dead. The room rushes back in. AC hum, distant footsteps, the paper on the bed, my own breath that sounds like someone else's. I lower the phone slowly like it's heavy. Dr. Salmon speaks again, softer now. Thank you, he murmurs, like he knows how hard that was. You did well. My eyes sting. Not tears yet, something hotter, anger maybe, fear turning into rage. You said the scan, I whisper. What's wrong with the scan? He hesitates, and that hesitation hits me like a slap. He pulls the ultrasound image closer, points. Not dramatically, not like a movie doctor, but careful, respectful, like he doesn't want to scare me more than he already has. There are signs of stress, he says, not catastrophic, but enough that I'm concerned, and it doesn't match what you told us. My stomach clenches. What do you mean it doesn't match? He keeps his voice even. You're not a smoker. You don't drink. Your blood pressure has been normal. You said you haven't fallen. You're taking the recommended prenatal vitamins. He looks up. So I need to ask you again, are you safe at home? Safe at home. The words ring inside my skull like a bell struck too hard. I picture my apartment, the cameras, the quiet, the red dot blinking in the dark. I picture Rafi watching me swallow those supplements, the way his eyes track the movement of my throat, the way he'd smile only after I'd taken them. You're so good, he'd say. I'm proud of you. My skin crawls. I think of Farzana's tea, the way she'd arrive unannounced, carrying a thermos like it was a gift. The tea always smelled bitter and sweet at the same time, like burned sugar. She'd pour it herself, her bangles chiming, her smile fixed. Good for the baby, she'd say. Good for your womb. Womb, like I was a vessel, like I was a bowl they were seasoning. I remember the way Rafi would stand in the doorway, arms crossed, watching me drink. Not talking, just witnessing. My stomach rolls. Sometimes, I say, and my voice is small now, raw. They give me things, supplements, tea. Dr. Salmon's face changes. Not shock, something darker. Confirmation. What kind, he asks. I don't know, I whisper. They say it's herbs. They say it's normal. He nods slowly, like he's trying not to scare me further. Do not take anything that isn't prescribed or that you can't identify, he says. And I want you to think carefully about your home situation. My eyes burn. A tear slips down and I wipe it fast, angry at it. Angry at my own body for leaking in front of strangers. Nurse Layla hands me a tissue anyway. Her fingers brush mine and her eyes lock onto my face, sharp and steady. You're not crazy, she says under her breath, so quiet it's almost just air. Okay. My chest tightens again, but this time it's not just fear, it's something like relief. Thin, trembling relief. that someone is saying the thing I've been too ashamed to admit. My phone buzzes. I flinch so hard it's embarrassing. Unknown number. My fingers hesitate. Then I tap. A single text stares back at me. No greeting. No name. Just words that make my blood run cold. Check your home Wi-Fi router logs. He's not just watching you. My hands go so cold, the phone feels slippery. I grip it harder, nails biting into my palm. Not just watching. My pulse thunders. Loud. Loud enough I feel it in my teeth. I lift my eyes to Dr. Saman and Nurse Layla, but I don't show them the screen yet. My mind races too fast to pick a path. My thoughts scatter like startled birds. Router logs, Wi-Fi, devices, cameras, my portal, my life, Rafi's soft voice in my ear, his perfect timing. My stomach twists, and for a second I think I might actually throw up. I press my fist to my mouth, breathing through my nose, tasting bile and metal and something like grief. Outside, somewhere beyond these walls, my husband is waiting. And suddenly I understand something with brutal clarity. He isn't worried about me. He's managing me. And I've been living inside his hands. The sun outside is too bright for what's happening inside me. I walk out of the clinic like my legs belong to someone else. Steady, normal, nothing to see here. My hand lifts in a small wave at the reception desk. My mouth forms a polite smile, the kind I've worn for years. The kind that says, I'm fine, don't ask questions. My phone is heavy in my palm. Unknown number. Router logs. He's not just watching you. The words keep flashing behind my eyes like a warning sign I can't blink away. Rafi's car is parked near the entrance. Of course it is. He's leaned back in the driver's seat, one hand on the wheel, the other scrolling his phone like he's bored. Like he's waiting for food delivery, not a wife carrying a secret that could crack his world open. When he sees me, his whole face changes into warmth. That practice magic. Babe, he calls, stepping out fast. His arms open like a hug is inevitable. My body wants to recoil, my skin tightens. Every instinct screams, don't let him touch you. But I step into him anyway, because survival is acting. My cheek presses against his shirt. It smells like his cologne and the inside of his car, sweet and chemical and too familiar. His hand slides to my lower back. Firm. Guiding. Everything okay? He asks into my hair, voice low like he's tender. I force a little laugh. It scratches my throat. Yeah, routine. He pulls back just enough to look at my face. His eyes scan me like he's reading a report. I can feel it. Him searching for cracks, for panic, for lies. I widen my eyes on purpose. I soften my mouth. I become the version of me he expects. He smiles. See, he says, like he's proud he was right. Told you. The ride home is filled with normal sounds that feel wrong. The turn signal clicking, tires hissing over the road, a man yelling at a vendor outside. Life continuing like my life isn't splitting in two. Rafi talks about groceries, bills, a new shelf he wants to install in the baby room. Baby room. My stomach tightens. The baby room is still full of boxes we never opened, stacked like evidence of a plan I didn't agree to. Sometimes at night, I stand in the doorway and stare at them. They look like sealed mouths. I nod at all the right times. I make small noises. I ask a question back. My voice plays its part while my mind claws at the message on my phone. Router logs, Wi-Fi, devices. I picture the red dots on our cameras at night, the way the hallway camera hums softly when it switches to night vision. I used to pretend I couldn't hear it. I hear everything now. When we reach our building, the elevator doors slide open with their usual slow sigh, but it sounds louder than it ever has, like the building is breathing. Rafi presses the button for our floor and stands close, shoulder brushing mine. I feel his warmth like a threat. My keys are in my bag, but he takes them anyway when we step out. He always takes them. He says it's faster. He says it's helping. I watch the metal flash in his fingers. I watch how easily he fits the key into the lock. It's not our door, it's his. Inside, the apartment is quiet in that tight, controlled way. The air conditioner hums. The fridge clicks. Somewhere in the hallway, the camera makes that faint whirring sound, like a tiny insect wing. Rafi tosses his wallet on the table and kisses my forehead. Sit, he says. I'll get you water. He speaks like I'm made of glass, like he's careful, like he's kind. I sink onto the couch, slowly, heart pounding. My eyes flick to the camera near the living room corner. Black circle, tiny red dot. Is it recording right now? Is he watching from his phone? Does he get notifications when I move? My skin prickles. Rafi returns with a glass of water and watches me drink it. His gaze doesn't leave my mouth. His smile stays in place. Good, he says softly. You need to stay hydrated. Hydrated, like I'm a plant he's responsible for watering. I set the glass down with a careful hand so it doesn't clink too loud. I don't know why I'm afraid of noise. I just am. Rafi's phone rings. He glances at the screen, then at me. Work, he says, rolling his eyes like we're allies against annoying people. I'll take it in the other room. Other room, with the door closed. He walks away, and the moment he's out of sight, my lungs finally pull in a full breath. It shakes on the way out. Okay. My hands tremble as I reach for my phone. The screen feels slick. My thumb hovers over apps like I don't recognize them, like I'm a stranger inside my own device. I open the Rotor app. Rafi set it up, he insisted. So we can restart it if it gets slow, he'd said, laughing. You're always complaining about buffering. Buffering! I stare at the list of connected devices, and my vision blurs for a second. I blink hard. Force focus. There are more devices than there should be. Some are obvious. TV, my phone, his phone, the cameras, a printer we barely use. But there's a device name I've never seen before, and then another. And then, my throat tightens as I see one labeled. King_Rafi. My skin goes cold. That nickname is his joke, his stupid little joke from early in our marriage when he'd pretend to be dramatic and call himself the king of this house. He'd said it with a laugh, like it was cute. I laughed too. Now my stomach twists like I swallowed glass. King_Rafi is connected, active. I tap it. It shows recent activity. My pulse thunders. My fingertips go numb. It's like my body wants to stop me from touching the truth. I scroll, timestamps, data spikes, connections. My mouth goes dry so fast my tongue feels stuck. A thought tries to float up. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's a harmless device. Maybe I'm overreacting. But Dr. Salmon's voice echoes in my skull. File for divorce tonight, Nurse Layla's whisper. You're not crazy. I swallow hard and my throat hurts. My eyes dart around the room. The camera's red dot glows steadily. I can't tell if it's judging me or watching me, or both. I lower my phone toward my lap like hiding it will help. Then I remember the text. He's not just watching you. Not just watching. My hands start to sweat. The phone almost slips. I steady it and open our shared cloud account, one Rafi insisted we use for family organization. Photos, documents, receipts. Baby names in a folder he made without asking me. My password works, of course it does. It's a password he helped me pick. The account loads slowly, a spinning circle. My heart beats in time with it. Too fast. When the folders appear, I scroll, eyes scanning. Family photos, bills, baby planning, insurance. And then, tucked between two normal-looking folders, something that makes my stomach drop. Archive. I don't remember making it. I tap. Inside are subfolders with boring names, old, temp, backup. But one sits there like a bruise. Evidence. My breath catches so sharply I hear it. Evidence? My finger hovers, shaking. The room feels louder. AC hum, fridge click, the distant muffled sound of Rafi's voice behind a closed door. I tap. The folder opens. Screenshots. So many screenshots. My messages, my chats with my cousin, my voice notes, photos of my clinic appointment reminders, pictures of my face in the mirror from days I looked tired. A screenshot of a search I once did at 2 a.m. Pregnancy anxiety normal? My scalp tingles. He saved my fear. He cataloged it. My vision narrows as I scroll further. A PDF labeled, medical notes, updated. Updated. My hand flies to my mouth as bile rises, hot and sour. I swallow it back so hard my throat burns. I open it with shaking fingers. It looks like clinic notes. My name, my DOB, appointment dates. But some lines are wrong. Words that don't belong to me. Patient reports mood instability. Patient appears confused about medication compliance. Patient expresses paranoia regarding spouse. Paranoia? The word sits on the screen like a sentence. My hands start shaking harder. I can't stop. My whole body feels like it's buzzing with electricity, like I'm plugged into a wall. He's writing my story. He's building a version of me that isn't me, a version that can be used. My breath comes shallow, my chest aches. The baby shifts, tiny, subtle, like a flutter, and the sensation makes tears sting my eyes. Not from joy, from panic. I scroll again, desperate, sick, and then I see it. A draft email. Subject line, custody strategy. My stomach drops so hard it feels like my organs shift. I open it. The words are clinical and cold, plans, steps. Phrases like establish pattern and document instability and secure primary decision-making. He's mapped out a future where I'm a problem to be managed, not a person. He's not planning to raise a child with me. He's planning to take my child from me. My vision wobbles. Tears spill hot over my lower lids and I wipe them fast, furious, like wiping them will erase the email. My hands are shaking so badly I almost drop the phone again. I hear the door handle in the hallway shift slightly. The sound is small, but my entire body jolts like a trapped animal. I slam the screen off and sit up straighter, forcing my face into calm. My heart is a drum in my throat. Rafi steps into the living room mid-call, smiling like nothing is wrong. He talks to the person on the other end, his tone friendly. Normal. He paces a little. He doesn't look at me at first. Then his eyes flick to my face quick as a blade. I smile. It feels like my lips are cracking. He turns away, satisfied, and continues talking as he walks into the kitchen. I sit there, frozen, listening to his voice drift through the apartment. His laughter, his little his confident, don't worry, I got it. Got it. I wait until his footsteps fade again. Then I take a breath that scrapes my lungs. I need to test him. Not confront, not explode, just test. When his call ends, he returns to the living room like a man stepping into a scene he already controls. Everything okay? He asks, eyes bright, voice soft. I nod. Yeah. I pick up the water glass and sip so my hands have an excuse to tremble. The water tastes like nothing. Like glass, then like it's casual, like it's silly, like it's nothing. I ask, did you ever log into my medical portal? The question hangs in the air. Rafi's smile flashes too fast, like a light turning on and off. Why would I? He says immediately, too immediate. His eyes don't soften with confusion. They sharpen. My skin prickles. Oh, I say lightly, forcing a laugh. There was a weird reminder email. I thought maybe you changed something. He shrugs, still smiling. Babe, you know I don't mess with your medical stuff. That's your thing. Your thing. He says it like he isn't currently wearing my life like a coat. I nod again. I keep my face smooth. But inside, something snaps into place with a sick, quiet certainty. He lied without blinking. He lied like breathing. Rafi leans down, kisses my forehead, and for a second his cologne fills my nose. Warm spice, clean soap. My stomach turns. Rest, he says. I'll handle dinner. Handle, always handle. He walks toward the bedroom, phone in hand, and my eyes follow him like I'm watching a predator move through tall grass. Night comes slowly, creeping into the corners of the apartment. The camera's red dots glow brighter in the darkness, like eyes waking up. Rafi's mood stays good. Too good. He hums while he eats. He jokes. He pats my belly and tells the baby, Dad's got you. Dad's got you. I smile like a doll. Later, when he showers, I pretend I'm sleepy. I crawl into bed, turn my back, and focus on making my breathing slow and even. My ears stay wide open. Every sound is a threat now. The water stops. The bathroom door opens. He moves around the room, quiet. His phone screen glows briefly in the dark. He types. He scrolls. Then he leaves the bedroom. At first, I think he's just getting water. Then the minutes stretch. I don't move. My body is rigid, muscles trembling under the blanket. I hear his voice, low, careful, coming from the living room. A call. My heart pounds so hard the blanket shifts with it. I slide my eyes open and stare into the darkness. The ceiling is faintly visible. My mouth is dry. My tongue feels like sand. Rafi's voice floats down the hallway, muffled but clear enough to catch pieces. Yes. Yes. She doesn't know, he says, a soft chuckle. She's still playing sweet. My stomach lurches. I squeeze my eyes shut, fighting the urge to sit up, to run, to scream. Then his tone turns colder, businesslike. Once she delivers, we execute, he says. Execute. The word slices through me. My breath catches. My chest tightens. My hand flies to my belly under the blanket. palm pressed protectively, as if my touch can shield the baby from sound. Rafi continues, voice smooth, certain. The documents will make her look unfit. Unfit. My throat closes completely. The room spins slightly. Heat flashes through my body, then cold. My skin is damp. My fingers curl into the sheets until my knuckles ache. I lie there, silent, listening to my husband plan the theft of my life like it's a project meeting. And in that moment, something inside me stops begging, stops hoping, stops trying to be good enough. A different feeling rises, slow, steady, terrifyingly clear. Not panic, purpose. Because if he's writing my story, then I'm going to take the pen back. I don't sleep. I lie there with my eyes closed and my body perfectly still, listening to the apartment breathe around me, the air conditioner clicking, the distant groan of pipes, the soft electronic whisper of cameras doing their quiet little jobs. Rafi returns to bed like nothing happened. He slides under the blanket and settles, warm and heavy at my back. He smells like toothpaste and that cologne that used to make me feel chosen. Now it makes my stomach turn. His arm drapes over my waist, possessive as a seatbelt. He murmurs something, half dream, half habit, and within minutes his breathing deepens. Slow, certain, like the world is exactly the way he planned it. My heart keeps sprinting. I stare into the dark until my eyes ache. Inside my chest, something hard forms. Not bravery, not calm, a decision. I don't confront him again. Not now. Not ever the way I used to. Small protests, soft questions, hoping he'll become the man I married if I say the right thing. That man is gone. Or maybe he never existed. I wait until the morning light thins the darkness. Until Rafi's alarm rings and he rolls out of bed, stretching like a satisfied cat. He kisses my forehead. Rest, he says. I'll be back early. I smile sleepily. I play dead. When the door clicks shut behind him, my body uncoils like a spring released. I move fast, but quiet. First, my phone. I turn off anything that could show him what I'm doing. Location sharing, app notifications, all the little invisible strings he tied around me. My hands shake, but I force them steady. I'm not messing with anything. I'm just taking my life back in inches. I open the cloud folder again. Evidence! My bile rises, but I swallow it down until it burns. Screenshot, screenshot, screenshot. I capture the custody strategy draft. I capture the altered medical notes. I capture the folder structure that proves intent, evidence, medical notes, updated, and all the little pieces of my private life stored like ammunition. I don't just save them. I record the dates, the timestamps, the metadata. I scroll slower now, eyes sharp, breath controlled. This isn't panic anymore. This is inventory. I open the Rotor app again and write down every device name, every unfamiliar MAC address, every timestamp I can see. My hand cramps from gripping the pen too hard, the paper dents under it. I print what I can from the router screen and the cloud account, pages sliding out of our printer with soft mechanical sighs. Black ink bleeding truth onto white paper. The sound feels dangerously loud in the quiet apartment, but I keep going. Then I take photos of the printed pages too. Redundancy, layers, like armor. I hear my own breathing, and it sounds unfamiliar. Measured, deliberate, like I'm walking a thin bridge over a drop. The next step makes my stomach twist. I call the clinic. My voice is polite, bright, normal. Hi, I say, forcing a little laugh. This is me. I was in yesterday. I need a copy of my access logs for my medical portal, just for my records. There's a pause on the line, a click of keys, then a voice I recognize slides in. Nurse Layla. She doesn't say my name, like she's reading a chart. She says it like she's holding my hand through a wall. Okay, she murmurs. We can help you. But you'll need to request it formally. I'll email you the form from the clinic address, and I'll note it as urgent. Urgent. The word makes my throat tighten. Thank you, I whisper. Her voice lowers. Use an email he can't access, she says, like she's talking about weather, but it lands like a lifeline. I stare at my screen, heart hammering. Okay. And, she adds, so soft I almost miss it. Don't go home alone if you can help it. I swallow hard. Okay. When the call ends, I sit very still on the edge of the couch, phone in my hand, and my body starts trembling like it finally remembered it's allowed to feel. A sob tries to climb up my throat. I shove it back down. Not yet. I create a new email account on my phone, fingers moving like they're not mine. I pick a password I've never used before. Not our anniversary. Not my birth year. Nothing he could guess with that smug certainty. I fill out the clinic's request form and send it. Then I text Dr. Salmon's office number. Just a simple message, careful words. I need help securing my portal, please advise. A reply comes later. A short list of steps: change password, enable two-factor authentication, revoke trusted devices, request audit logs, save copies. My chest loosens a fraction. Paper trail, procedure, proof. I follow every step. Each tap feels like snapping one more thread. Still, my hands won't stop shaking. I take the printed papers and slide them into a plain folder. My fingers brush the edge of the ultrasound printout and I freeze. My baby's tiny shape, grainy and unreal. My eyes sting so hard I have to blink fast. "This is for you," I whisper into the silent room. My voice cracks. "I'm doing this for you." The words taste like salt. I can't keep the tears down anymore. They come hot and sudden, spilling over, like my body finally gives up pretending. I stand and walk to the bathroom, locking the door even though it's ridiculous. Even though locks in this apartment feel like toys. The shower turns on. Water slams the tiles loud enough to cover any sound I make. Steam rises, fogging the mirror, softening the world. I step under the water, fully clothed at first, because I can't stand the idea of being exposed, even to myself. The water soaks through my shirt and clings to my skin. Cold at first, then warmer, like the room is trying to comfort me. I slide down the wall and sit on the floor of the tub. My knees pull to my chest. The water pounds my shoulders and I cry silently, mouth open, no sound, just tears and shaking and the ache in my ribs. It's not pretty. It's survival. When the sobs fade into hiccups, I stand. I peel off the wet clothes and wash my face like I can scrub the fear out of my pores. My skin is red, my eyes are swollen. I turn off the water and the sudden quiet is brutal. The world rushes back in. I step to the mirror. My reflection looks like someone who has been lied to for a long time. I lean in. My hands grip the sink. My knuckles are pale. "Calm," I whisper. "Calm face." I practice it. I let my mouth soften. I lift my eyebrows slightly. I relax my jaw. I look like the woman Rafi expects, the grateful, lucky, gentle wife. My stomach twists as I perfect it. Then my eyes harden for a second. The real me slips through. Anger. Not screaming anger, not messy anger, focused anger. I blink and bury it again. Door lock clicks. Rafi is home. My skin prickles instantly, every hair on my arms lifting. I wipe my face quickly, dab concealer under my eyes, fix my hair. I pocket my phone and take a breath like I'm about to dive underwater. He enters the living room with bags in his hands, smiling like a hero. "Look what I got," he says, lifting them. "Your favorite snacks, and those vitamins the pharmacist recommended." Vitamins. My stomach clenches, but I keep my smile steady. "You didn't have to," I say softly. "I want to," he replies, and his smile widens. "I take care of my girls." My girls. His hand brushes my belly like he owns the space under my skin. The baby shifts, a flutter. My throat tightens. I force warmth into my voice. "Thank you," I say. "You've been taking care of everything." He preens a little. Pleased. Good, let him be pleased. I tilt my head, the way I know he likes, and I say, "Actually, can you help me with one more thing?" His eyes brighten. "Of course." I keep my tone light, almost playful. "The clinic said there might be some insurance form I need to confirm. You know how I get confused with all that. Can you check it with me later?" I hate myself for sounding like that. Helpless. Cute. But the lie is bait, and my stomach is steel. Rafi laughs. "You're adorable," he says. "Yeah, I'll handle it." Handle it. He always says handle it like it's love. Farzana arrives that afternoon without warning. The doorbell rings, and my body reacts before my mind does. Shoulders tightening, stomach clenching. I wipe my palms on my dress and force my face into that calm mask again. Rafi beams when he opens the door. "Ma!" Farzana steps in like she owns the air. Her smile is bright, her sari crisp, her perfume sharp and sweet. She carries a cloth bag that rustles ominously. "My daughter," she says, kissing my cheek. Her lips are cool, her grip on my arm is firm. "How are you feeling?" "Fine," I say, voice smooth. "Just tired." She nods like she expected that answer. Her gaze sweeps over me, lingering on my face, my belly, my hands. Then she lifts the bag and smiles wider. "I brought special postpartum herbs," she announces, loud enough for Rafi to hear. "Very good, very traditional. You will heal fast. You will be strong." The word strong comes out like a warning dressed as a blessing. My stomach churns. Farzana sets the bag on the table and begins unpacking small, wrapped bundles, dried leaves, little bottles with handwritten labels. The smell hits me, bitter, earthy, cloying. My throat tightens. Rafi watches approvingly like this is love in physical form. Farzana's eyes flick to mine, sharp, testing. "You've been taking your tea?" she asks, casual. My heartbeat thuds once, hard. "Yes," I lie smoothly, and I hate how easy it is now. She hums, pretending to be satisfied. Her fingers continue sorting. "Good," she says. "We don't want complications. People talk, you know. People talk." I feel the words scrape my bones. Farzana leans closer as if sharing a secret. "A woman must be careful," she murmurs. "So many things can go wrong if she is careless." Careless. My jaw tightens. I keep smiling. I nod like I'm listening to advice, not a threat. Rafi's phone buzzes. He glances at it, then at me, then at Farzana. "I need to take this," he says, stepping away. As soon as he's out of the room, Farzana's smile dims. Her eyes sharpen until they look almost black. She reaches out and touches my wrist lightly, nails grazing skin. "You're happy, yes?" she asks. It's not a question. My skin crawls where she touched me. "Of course," I say. Her gaze searches mine like she's trying to catch a flicker of truth. "Good," she says slowly. "Because my son, he worries. He loves you so much. He does everything for you." I swallow hard. My mouth is dry again. She adds softly, "A woman who is loved should not cause problems." My stomach twists into a knot so tight it hurts. I nod. She smiles again, sugar returning. "That's my good girl." Good girl. The phrase makes my vision flash white for a second. I take a breath and move to the kitchen, pretending to prepare tea, anything to put space between us. My hands shake as I fill the kettle. Water rushes loud, covering my uneven breathing. Rafi returns, cheerful, slipping into his role with ease. He wraps an arm around my shoulders and speaks loudly about dinner plans, about baby names, about how the doctor said everything looks good. Everything looks good. My spine stiffens. The doctor said? I turn my head slowly, keeping my face soft, heart pounding so hard I feel it in my throat. "What do you mean?" I ask lightly. "You talked to the doctor." Rafi's smile falters for half a second. "Just half." Then it snaps back. "No," he says too quickly. "I mean, when you told me, you said it was routine." I tilt my head, still smiling, still sweet. "I didn't say what the doctor said," I reply, voice gentle as silk. "I just said it was routine." Farzana's eyes flick between us, sharp as blades. Rafi laughs a little, but it's strained. "You know what I mean," he says, waving a hand. "I'm just excited." Excited. My skin is ice. Because he shouldn't know the detail, he just almost said out loud the specific phrase Dr. Salmon used about stress signs and not matching lifestyle. Words I never repeated to anyone. Words that only existed in that locked room. Unless he accessed my portal again. Unless he's still inside it. Unless he's been watching me in ways I haven't even found yet. My smile stays on my face like a painted thing. But inside me, my anger clicks into a sharper shape. A blade. And I realize, clear as breath, he's still slipping, he's still careless, and if he's careless then he can be caught. The morning of the meeting, I dress like I'm going to a celebration. Soft fabric, neutral color, nothing that says war. My hands shake anyway. I keep them busy, button, smooth, adjust, breathe, because if I let them rest, they'll betray me. My stomach is a tight knot, coiled and hot, and every time the baby moves, it feels like a reminder pressed from the inside. Don't fail me. Rafi watches me from the doorway while I put on lip balm. His eyes are bright, hungry bright. "Where are you going?" he asks, too casual. I turn and give him my calm face, the one I practiced until it felt like a mask glued to my skin. The clinic called, I say. They said there's one last insurance confirmation. Routine coverage stuff. He smiles, instantly pleased to hear the word insurance. Like it's a door he already has a key to. I'll come, he says, already reaching for his jacket. I nod like that's exactly what I want. Like my heart isn't hammering against my ribs, trying to escape. Good, I say softly. I need you. His chest lifts with pride. If he could see inside me, he'd know the sentence is true for a different reason. The drive is quiet, not peaceful quiet, the kind where every breath has edges. Rafi's fingers tap the steering wheel. He hums a tune. He glances at me like he's checking my temperature. You've been sweet lately, he says, smiling. I like it. My mouth stays relaxed. My eyes stay soft. I'm grateful, I whisper. Grateful. My tongue tastes bitter around the word. The clinic feels different when I walk in with him beside me. The air is the same, clean, sharp, but my skin reacts like the place is electrified. My pores prickle, my palms sweat, my ears catch every tiny sound. The receptionist's keyboard, the squeak of a stroller wheel, the low murmur of a couple arguing softly near the chairs. Rafi stands tall, charming, the kind of man people make space for without realizing they're doing it. He reaches for my hand. I let him take it. His thumb rubs my knuckles like a lover, but his grip is just a little too firm. A reminder, a claim. We're led to a small office, not the ultrasound room, an administrative room with dull beige walls and a round table that looks like it's been cleaned too many times. The overhead light hums faintly. The air is cooler in here, like the room doesn't want emotions. Dr. Salmon is there, but not alone. A clinic administrator sits with him. Neat suit, tired eyes, a folder stacked with papers. And beside them, a woman I don't recognize at first until she stands and I see the leather briefcase and the calm expression that doesn't bend. My lawyer. Just seeing her makes my throat tighten. Relief hits so hard it hurts. Like my lungs finally find oxygen after being underwater too long. Rafi's eyebrows lift, just slightly. He smiles anyway. He always smiles anyway. Hi, he says brightly, extending a hand. Rafi, husband. The administrator shakes his hand politely, then looks down at the papers, like the handshake is a formality, not an introduction. My lawyer's gaze touches my face, quick, gentle, steady. Not pity, not fear, just presence. I sit. Rafi sits beside me, close enough that his knee presses into mine under the table. His warmth feels like a restraint. The administrator clears their throat. Thank you for coming, they begin. This meeting is regarding account security and patient record integrity. Rafi's smile stays in place, but the muscles around it tighten. Of course, he says. Whatever you need. The administrator opens the folder. Paper slides against paper. Dry, crisp sounds that make my stomach flip. We identified unauthorized access attempts to the patient portal linked to your wife's account, they say, voice steady. There were also changes made to appointment notes and insurance contact details. Rafi leans back slightly as if amused. That's strange, he says, laughing softly. She's probably just clicking things by accident. She gets overwhelmed. My jaw clenches, my nails dig into my palm under the table, hidden. The administrator doesn't look up. The access logs show repeated logins from a specific device, they continue. That device is registered under a name and email associated with you. The room goes very still. Even the light hum seems to fade. Rafi's face doesn't collapse dramatically. It drains slowly, like color is being pulled out of him drop by drop. His smile falters, then reforms, then falters again, the way a person tries to fix a crack in glass with their bare hands. That's impossible, he says, too quick, too loud. Why would I? The administrator slides a printed sheet across the table. Columns, dates, times, device ID. The yellow highlights look like bruises on paper. My lawyer speaks for the first time, voice calm and clean. Do you deny accessing her portal? She asks. Rafi laughs again, but there's no warmth in it now. I might have helped her once, he says. She asked me. I'm her husband. We share everything. This is being blown out of proportion. Dr. Salmon's eyes flick to mine for a moment. Gentle, apologetic. Like he wishes he could undo what I've had to learn. The administrator continues, unbothered by Rafi's charm. There were edits made to clinical notes, they say. Edits that don't match provider entries. And there were insurance contact changes that rerouted certain notifications. Rafi's head turns toward me slowly like a hinge. His eyes narrow just a fraction. And there it is. The real Rafi. Not the rescuer, not the husband, the manager. He leans toward me, voice soft enough to sound caring to anyone else. "Why are you doing this?" he murmurs. My stomach tightens, but my spine stays straight. I breathe in, slowly. The air tastes like dry paper and something metallic. Then I look at him and let my voice come out steady. "I'm not doing anything," I say quietly. "I'm listening." Rafi's jaw flexes. He swallows. His Adam's apple bobs like he's trying to force control back into his throat. Farzana arrives late. Of course she does, always showing up like a curtain drop. The door opens and her perfume enters before she does, sharp and sweet, filling the small room like a fog. She smiles wide, eyes bright, acting surprised. "What is this?" she asks, laughing lightly as she sits down without being invited. "Why so serious? We're family." Family. My skin tightens. The administrator looks mildly annoyed, but continues anyway, summarizing the same points. Unauthorized access. Altered notes, device tied to Rafi, the integrity concerns. Farzana's smile stays fixed. Rafi's fingers tap the table now, too fast, too uneven. They're both losing control. It tastes like electricity in the air. My lawyer slides a second folder onto the table. Mine. The one I built with shaking hands and silent tears. She opens it with the calm of someone lighting a candle. Screenshots, printed pages, timestamps, the evidence folder, the altered medical notes, the draft email. My lawyer's finger lands on the subject line as she turns the page toward Rafi, then toward Farzana. "Custody strategy," she reads aloud, voice flat. "Professional? Deadly?" Rafi's eyes widen for one sharp second before he tries to smooth his face again. I feel my pulse in my fingertips. My mouth goes dry. My stomach flips, but something inside me stays cold and clear. I lean forward slightly and ask my one question, the only question that matters. "So why were you drafting a custody strategy email before our baby is even born?" The room is silent. It's not a dramatic silence. It's worse. It's the kind where everyone hears the truth settle. Rafi opens his mouth, then closes it. His eyes dart, my lawyer, the administrator, Dr. Samin, Farzana, searching for an exit that isn't there. Farzana's smile twitches. Just once. Then it slips, and the mask underneath is not sweet. "It's for the family," she snaps, voice suddenly sharp, stripped of honey. "You don't understand how things work. A child belongs with stability, with a proper home." My stomach clenches as if her words have hands. "A proper home," she continues, eyes hard on me. "A name, a future. That apartment you came from, those people. What can they give? My son has responsibility. He has inheritance, property, respect." Inheritance. There it is. Not love, not tradition, not concern, money, control. A clean plan. Keep the baby, keep the name, keep the assets. Remove the mother like a stain. Rafi tries again, voice rising into charm. "Listen," he says, spreading his hands. "This is being misunderstood. She's emotional. She's pregnant. She's been paranoid lately." "Stop," my lawyer says, quiet as a blade. Rafi freezes. My lawyer looks at the administrator. "We have evidence of unauthorized access and document alterations," she says. "We're requesting immediate separation of insurance communications to the patient only, revocation of all third-party access, and written confirmation of the audit logs." The administrator nods, already reaching for a pen. My lawyer turns to Rafi. "Additionally," she says, "from this point forward, all financial accounts in her name will be separated. If you attempt further access to her medical records or devices, it will be documented and addressed legally." Rafi's face tightens. "You can't," he starts. "Yes," she says, calm. "We can." Farzana's voice cuts in, harsh. "She's trying to destroy our family." I feel the word destroy vibrate in my bones. I look at her. Really look, her perfect hair, her perfect nails, her eyes like sharp stones. And I realize something with a strange, hollow clarity. They never saw me as family. They saw me as a step. A womb with legs. My hands rest on my belly, protective without thinking. My baby moves again, a tiny flutter like a question. I answer it silently. I'm here, I'm not leaving you." The meeting ends in signatures and stamped papers, and the sound of pens scratching across forms like tiny saws cutting ties. Rafi doesn't speak when we stand. His mouth is a tight line. His eyes are glossy with fury he's trying to hide. Farzana stands too, chin high, wounded pride radiating off her like heat. In the hallway outside the office, the clinic feels suddenly brighter. The light stings my eyes. My legs feel shaky, but the floor is solid under me in a way it hasn't been for months. Rafi steps close, too close, and speaks through a smile meant for the cameras, meant for strangers. "You're making a mistake," he whispers. My throat tightens, my skin prickles, but my voice comes out soft and steady. "No," I whisper back. "You did." I walk away. Each step feels like walking through thick water, slow and heavy, but I keep moving. My lawyer walks beside me. Her presence is quiet, anchoring. Outside, sunlight hits my face, and I blink hard. The warmth is almost painful. My lungs pull in air that tastes different out here. Less sterile, more alive. My phone buzzes. A text from Rafi. "We can fix this." My fingers hover over the screen. The old me would have folded, would have apologized, would have tried to repair something that was never built to hold me. My thumb lowers. I don't reply. Not a word. Days later, when the divorce papers are ready, my hands still shake when I hold them. Paper shouldn't weigh this much, but it does. I sign my name with a pen that feels too small for what I'm doing. There's a clause my lawyer insisted on. Privacy protections, medical autonomy, explicit boundaries about records and devices. Words that look calm and legal, but to me they feel like locks on doors that should have existed from the beginning. When the papers are served, I'm not there to see Rafi's face. I don't need to. I can already imagine the way his smile will try to survive and then fail, because his perfect husband image, the one he polished and displayed, can't withstand daylight. And I'm done living in his dark. I used to think betrayal was loud. I thought it would come with slammed doors, raised voices, some clean moment where I could point and say, "There." That's when it broke, but the kind that almost took my life away didn't roar. It whispered. It lived in passwords I didn't choose, in paperwork I didn't write, in help that always came with a hand closing around my wrist, in a smile that looked perfect from far away, and still never reached the eyes when you stood close enough to see the truth. Now, when my phone lights up, I don't flinch the way I used to. My shoulders still tense sometimes. Muscle memory is stubborn, but I breathe through it. I remind myself, my body knew before my mind admitted it. I learned things I wish I didn't have to learn. Lock your medical accounts like you lock your front door. Use two-step verification. Change your passwords even if someone pouts. Keep copies of your records. Screenshot, print, date everything. And when a professional looks you in the eye and asks if you're safe, don't laugh it off just to keep the peace. Peace that depends on your silence isn't peace. Some nights, when the apartment is quiet, I rest my hand on my belly and feel that small flutter like a tiny fist tapping from the inside. It still makes my throat tighten, but it's a different kind of tight now. Not fear, promise. "I'm sorry," I whisper sometimes, "not for leaving, for staying so long." And then I tell my baby the truth, the one I needed someone to tell me earlier. Love is not control. Love doesn't track you. Love doesn't rewrite you. Love doesn't need you smaller to feel bigger. Next time, I'll tell you how she tried to show up at my baby shower, and what I did that shut it down without raising my voice. If you've ever been manipulated quietly, if you've ever doubted yourself because someone smiled while hurting you, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments what your gut tried to warn you about. And please, share this with someone who needs permission to trust their instincts.